Wow. Beautiful.
Today's Flag Day, by the way. Today is Flag Day, so it's very appropriate.
Yes.
And get into the meat of the conversation. So when we talk about what is healthy, there are three parts. The body needs to be healthy. There's something called unification and the heart. Each one of these points is 3-day seminars, but I will try to do the first two in 2 minutes. And then the third one will be the focus of this conversation. Okay, so I just want to introduce it. So when we're looking at health, the first thing that we're looking at is the body, and the body needs to work just right. And working just right for us in our style of medicine, from that fire god person, he says the body, even though we have many different systems, the nerves, the blood, the bones, the muscles, whatever you have, it actually does cohesively an action that has two parts to it. We call it separation, unification action. What the physical body needs to do is to reach out to nature. We call it separation activity. In order to be able to bring energy sources into the body, we call this unification activities, and that's why we have a body. If everything works just right, not too much, not too little, not too fast, not too slow, you don't have any symptoms. The head doesn't hurt, the back doesn't hurt, stomach, you're not nauseous. If something doesn't go well in the unfolding of unification separation in any of the body system, you start having symptoms, and this is in a summary the body's activity. And again, it's a long story that I just want to get to what I want to talk about today. What the body does, reaching out to nature and bringing nature into the body so I can have more energy. For example, we're eating lunch now, and the energy from the turkey and the fish and the salad at the end has to be digested and convert to become my energy. So in a few hours, I will look at Jonathan, and he doesn't look like a turkey anymore, but rather it's his own energy. This conversion of nature's energy into my own energy is what we call unification, and basically the meaning of aging. The more this unification becomes weaker and weaker, the more I age or faster I age. So if you look at little kids, 5-year-old, they eat one apple, they seem to have a lot of energy. But if you fast forward 80 years, we eat the same apple, the same calories, but that energy is not in the body. It doesn't convert as much efficiency as the little kid. This is what I want to talk about, just introducing the body and unification, and I hope it wasn't too fast and too random, but the topic of the lecture today is actually about the heart. So the heart is a big, beautiful story, and I was, for the last 2 weeks, starting with my meeting with Amy and all the coincidences, I'm trying to figure out how to introduce it, and different things lead me in different way, and I want to introduce it in this way. Relationship that work. So 35 years ago, when I just started learning Chinese medicine, I was still living in Israel at the time, and I had a roommate. And I used to love birds at that time. I was at the very beginning of my professional career. And I had the cockatiels. I had 8 of them. And I built in my living room a giant cage with a tree inside. Like half of the living room was a cage. 8 of them, and I used to train them to sit on my shoulder, and I loved them. But I had a roommate that he loved fish, and he had a giant, and that's a real story, it's not made up. He had a real giant, really beautiful fish. The problem was the birds sometimes were like chirping and making noises, and the fish were very silent. My roommate liked silence. So one day he came back home, the cage is open, the window is open, all the birds are gone. So, I want to keep to the end of the lecture what I did with the fish. I'm going to introduce that story with relationships that work, and I'll get back to that at the end, okay?
It was delicious, wasn't it?
Well, big fish, small, exotic fish, all kinds of fish. The topic of the conversation today, and ignore all the introduction before, is the heart, the emotion, the spiritual side of the person. This according to the Huai Shan, that 300-year-old school. So I want to introduce this. I'm sure everyone has their opinion. I want to introduce the Huai Shan point of view of what the heart is. They say the life of the person is continuous. Let's say the person has life of their own, but it starts from the sperm and the egg that were alive. starts from the parents that were alive, and the grandparents, and the great-grandparents. It seems that this life is unbroken, even though when the baby conceived or born, it looks like a new life start. But actually, the life has to come from the parents, and it doesn't start from the floor or from a table. It actually continues on and on. And the baby, according to Faishan, as it starts forming, the first thing that forms in the baby is the heart mechanism, and I'm not talking about the heart like the blood pump, but rather a mechanism that allows the line that continues to be expressed. This is the first thing that is born for a human being to become human. Before the body, before the organs, before the head or anything. It's just the ability to express this. And we call this the inner heart. But then the body forms and everything forms, and in order for the body to survive, the heart develops another side to it, which we call an inward side or receding side. In order to survive in nature, the heart needs to want things, like I need to breathe. The first second that I come out, I have to feel uncomfortable and unhappy so I can breathe. And then eat and drink and born from the mother and all these things. This is the other side of the heart that we have to have in order for the body to survive another day, another month, another minute. So the heart has to have these two sides. One is the one that expresses this life that is inside, we call it heaven, or one thread heaven. And it has to have the other side to it, it has to want and need things, and it's perfectly okay. We call this other side of the heart the warrior, the one that needs to defend us and protect us. So when there's no oxygen, he said, hey, not good, breathe. When I'm hungry, eat. Right? And when I don't have enough cars, car, give me another car. This is the gist of it. These are the two sides of the heart that the Faishan deals with more and more and more, and I want to progress to the meaning that we look at. So this is one ancient quote from Confucius about 2,500 years ago, comes from a text called Doctrine of the Mean. It says, when emotions did not discharge yet, this is called center, and when emotions have discharged but are regulated by the center, this is called harmony. This talks from ancient time, we're talking thousands of years, that the Chinese realize, analyze, research, however you want to call it, that when this one thread of life is very, very quiet and does not express itself, it's just life inside the person. This is something they call center. Center means it's not to the left, not to the right, it's not too much, not too little, it's just right. It's happening just right. And this is the ancient character for center. This square-looking thing is the mouth of a person, that means a human being, and this line is the line coming from heaven through the person. So center means this heaven, one thread comes through the person, and when this is inside, like when I'm sleeping, this is called center. But when I wake up and I start to express it, this is called emotion discharge, but they are related to that heaven, and that's why we call it harmony. Of course, when it's not related to this heaven, if it's not harmony, what is it? The opposite. This harmony. Right? This is harmony, this is disharmony, and I want to share with you what it means. So me and you, any kind of relationship, parents, children, husband, wife, friends, or strangers, whatever it may be, if both exert heaven or regulated by the center, you have a state of abundance, harmony. Like I want to give Jonathan, Jonathan wants to give me. There's surplus. Everyone wants to give. That's why there's harmony and everybody is happy. If, however, someone has the other side of the heart, like I want to take, and again, this is a long story, why I feel that I need more, I need more. But let's say I want to take, and the other person also want to take, this does what we call friction and separation, and this, of course, creates disharmony or sense of shortage, the opposite of abundance. Like it's not enough. I need, you need. Like imagine I have one apple, but I want it for myself. You have one apple, you want it for yourself. And nobody gives each other. The relationship breaks apart. And there is a third situation we call one gives, one takes, meaning someone really needs something, and the other one has more to give, so he give it, and that prevents a friction. It's not like the second one. And in this situation, it's also harmony and happiness. There's no friction there. So before, when you say both give heaven, that means if both are like-minded, both give and everything is awesome. But there's many situations itself, the human being itself has a lot and wants to give and other people have less. And this is what needs to happen normally the third situation. One gives what take. And I just wanted to share with you how it looks like when we talk about heaven, giving, taking, this kind of thing. So in the Faishan, we developed a method of how to create this happiness in the heart that actually prevent most of the terrible diseases and can help cure people despite, what we normally believe in medicine, that it needs to be some action in the body. Many of the diseases, in my experience, the etiology or the cause is unknown, even though we know what the mechanism of the disease. But for the Huaishan, they said all these diseases start from the heart or from disturbances in the heart, and we developed this being happy method. Just like that master used to take his patients to release fish in the river. It's called finding center, or finding like how the heaven inside the body feels like. It's called finding center. We have two methods. I'm going to teach you two different things to make it a little practical. Observing movement and nurturing or preserving stillness. This makes the person feel the heaven abundance inside, and the end result is the meaning of the human is expressed. The generosity, the kindness, this is what we call the meaning of the human. So I'm just running fast because I know you start having indigestion already. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that we're doing is called observing movement. Observing movement is a category of many different exercises. One of them is doing a ledger. So I just want to show you what a ledger looks like. It's like a table, kind of a diary, but we actually don't write anything in the diary. Morning, afternoon, evening, good thoughts, bad thoughts, good actions, bad actions, and we just make marks. We reflect on what we think and say and do, and gradually we learn about them and we get in touch with ourselves as far as our emotions and thoughts. This is called observing methods. Everyone can do a table and start practicing. The other type of exercises we do is called preserving stillness. For example, one of them is called Shinfa meditation, starting to feel the heaven. So if you don't mind, I'll just do an exercise with you together, and that might help the digestion a little bit, if it's okay with you. So this Shinfa meditation goes like this. When you finish exhaling all the air from your lungs, you have half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, until the body feels that there's not enough oxygen. So we call it a heart movement, like the heart starts feeling not enough, not enough. So when we feel that, we take both hands. Please do it with me if you're not too shy. You breathe in, just like the heart movement. You breathe out, you relax, 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 become calmer and calmer. And at the end, when you're very calm, you feel this quiet, this is called heaven. But after 2 seconds, you feel like there's not enough oxygen, so you breathe in, breathe out, and you feel heaven. You want to do a couple of breathing? Just to breathe. You breathe in, breathe out, relax, relax, relax. Breathe in, breathe out, relax, relax, relax. At the end, you find heaven. Practice this every day, especially when you fight with your spouse or things like that. That solves a lot.
She doesn't breathe.
And at the end, related, of course, to all what the Rotary does, every day we practice kindness and generosity because this is the abundance and giving side and not the taking and wanting. The more we want and take and we feel shorter, the more the body gets diseased. The more we feel abundance in the heart, the harder it is to get sick because this heaven energy permeates through the body, and I just want to share that. If you think about any infant that comes out, if you ever saw an infant, your baby or someone else's baby, it doesn't matter. You look at the baby, a very young baby, immediately you feel, wow, it's so precious. I mean, very disturbed, few disturbed people will say it's ugly. It's so precious because when a baby comes out of the womb, the external heart is not developed. It just needs some warmth from the mom and milk. It doesn't need cars yet or anything else. And you can see the heaven. That's why it's so precious. You can see. And then, shortly thereafter, 1-year-old, 2-year-olds, it starts to change a little bit. But they're always sweet, of course, but not that universal beauty that everybody loves. I just want to share it because when you live 100% with heaven, like you feel inside, it's coming from the inside. Not only we want to do good on the outside, but from inside, it's like compelling to do something good. This is called live with 100% with heaven. Then the meaning and purpose of a human being comes out. And everything that is created in the world has meaning and purpose. For a human being, to be human is the purpose. If you were a horse, you'll have a different meaning, or a dog or a cat. Everyone is beautiful, everyone is precious, but a human being is to be human. That's the purpose. And the human, we talk about generosity and kindness. Remember the fish of the story? So at the end, I actually didn't do anything because I love fish also. There's nothing I could do, that's what happened.
Right.
I lost the birds and he said I didn't do it. The cage was just open. But I didn't release the fish into the toilet or anything. And that was supposed to be the final word, but remember that I just want to share with you that I'm opening a Funyan Center on Powerline. I'm going to invite everyone to come to my new center July 1st, and hopefully you can show up. So I just want to share it. You know, the reason that I'm bringing this is not just to self-promote, but that too, but not just that. Like when you, in the Huaishan, when you go deeper and deeper into the center, and you want to do good, and you want to be generous, and you want to do the just right thing, not too much, not too little, actually, you start feeling that if you do it, how much it's going to help, when it's going to help, how long it's going to take, and it's actually the level of sophistication is very, very deep. And I can share with you that 100 years ago, about 1915, there were a few Huaishan masters in Chengdu in China. They said in 100 years, the Huaishan is going to get to America. And I'm standing here, and this is my job 100 years later. So maybe it's a coincidence, but they had that prophecy. I wanted to share that with you. And, well, I mean, this could be for anyone who needs to get healthy. In this center, I'm actually going to have a lot of different equipment, soul therapy, sound therapy, acupuncture, herbs, healing oils, all kind of different things for many different things. But I'm hoping to make it not very expensive, so a lot of people who don't have money could also enjoy from it. I'm putting special program with rewards, so you get discounts and this and all kind of things to make it easier for people. But everyone who needs to get healthy, which I would say is 99.9% of the people, is target audience. Yeah, and happy, not just healthy, but happy. Come on, don't knock it down my... So whoever knows the song, we have some musicians here. So Tony, you give the cue.
Let's do it.
Go. Hello. And this bingo.
I said,
How long
has this been going
on?
How
long
has this been going
on?
One more time. And out.
How long
Has this been
going on? Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.